What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I am your host, Patrick Vallejos. We are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. Today will be a quick live stream on Abby and Libby's case, some of the strange going-ons, and we're going to work through it. What's up, Riot? Beth, good morning. Good afternoon. GP, how you doing? CJK, Salty, good afternoon. Miranda, how are you? What do you guys think about the thumbnail? I mean, what are the odds that two people who participated in Abby and Libby's murders would both come to Ricci and confess to him? What, does he just have some uncanny ability to get people to snitch on themselves? Good to see you, Beth. Thank you. Yeah, if you guys could hit the thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Leave a comment after the video. Go share it on your social media. Davey, how you doing? Step on up to the prison confessional, where you tell all. And then Ricci goes and tells prosecutors. I mean, what are the odds that two people involved in Abby and Libby's murders are confessing to this guy, Ricci? I mean, think about it. What are the odds of that? What's up, Rescue? Hey, Steffa, how you doing? GP says BS is all it is. I mean, is it possible that he just has a way with these convicts or these inmates, and he knows how to gain their trust? Is he like the child killer whisperer? What's up, Brightfield? So Ricci is not only the prison lawyer, but also the prison priest. It looks like he's running the prison confessional, apparently. If you got to get it off your chest, just get in line, like Kagan did. He saw how rewarding it was for Ron Logan, his cohort, and he couldn't resist. I got to get it off my chest. I need to talk to Father. Father Ricci. Father Davis Jr. CJ says, what's revolting? I love that word, by the way. To be honest, are the Ricci advocates. One who's a felon, and another is a lady who cares more for criminals, killers, thugs than she does for victims. Well, for a lot of these people, it's about equity. You know what I mean? We gotta love everyone. And I agree with that. You know, I'm not here to cast judgment. I'm here to use discernment. Salty says, well, it is the Delphi case. This whole mess bothers me. Well, one thing that is very interesting, and remember, we have to be careful when we're trying to filter information from Richard Allen's defense team. You can get lost in the gaslight. Remember, and sometimes we forget what's fact and what's fiction. I think it's safe to say anything coming from Baldwin is all just fiction. hide the lies in a pile of lies. He's very sneaky. So he almost leaving this came forward and wrote a letter Nick McClellan back in 2017 that Ron Logan provided intimate details about the crime scene, but that's just not true. The information that he provided was given in October of 2024. Let me share my screen with you guys. October 4th, 2024 is when these letters were marked. The information about the box cutter came out around early August of 2024. And the information about Richard Allen apologizing about what he did to Abby, specifically, not mentioning Libby, was also made public way before October 4th of 2024. So he's not providing any intimate information. He's not giving us anything only the killer would know. That stuff was already made public. And all he did was formulate his fake story around that information. And he was just trying to use his situation as an inmate to act like he's ignorant to what's going on in the outside world and hoping that Nick would jump over it. Think that Nick McClellan doesn't want to jump all over the Keegan Kline information? Trust me, he would love to. And I'm not basing that off of words. I'm basing that all off of actions. The way they tried to track down the Anthony Shots account, the way they pressed Keegan, the way they were upset with the FBI for not keeping tabs on Keegan Kline. Remember, he came back into town and was like, we don't know why he went free for so long. You know, there was a filing mishap. And then exactly 1 year later, on that anniversary of his arrest, the FBI kicked off the case. That was the final straw. They arrested him, and they couldn't understand why he was running around unmonitored. If you have an inmate that or a suspect that runs across state lines, you can't go chasing him. You need the FBI or the Texas Marshals or the U.S. Marshals. Sorry, I've been watching Texas Ranger. Davey says, hey, the Richard Allen lover said Ricci is an honest guy, only wanting justice for the girls. So I'm going with that. Richard Allen was the third person. He said case over, right? Yeah, that sounds about right. What's up, Karen? Miranda says Ricci is now the new project for the Davidians. They're sending him money. He must be loving the attention and notoriety. Yeah, I would. It'd be amazing to be an inmate and manipulating people on the outside like this, you know? I would be getting a kick out of it, honestly. Especially if I was doing nothing all day and then all of a sudden I'm getting all this attention. But we were made to believe through Baldwin's filings that Ricci was providing intimate details about the crime way before it was ever made public. It's just not true. Absolutely right, Field. Salty. It's a good question, Karen. My only theory on that. And Karen's asking, why didn't Richard Allen's attorneys try to get this in the trial? The only thing I can come up with is that during trial, you had another attorney who was working for Richard Allen, which was Brad Rosie. Now, Rosie is partners with Aki. Aki represented not only Kagan Klein, but Ron Logan. And if you guys want a conspiracy, good conspiracies, everybody's involved. The prosecution, and the defense, and the judge. They're all in on it. The only person who's not in on it are the patsies. So the only thing I can think of is that Rosie said, hey, if we go after Ron Logan and Keegan Klein, these two people who were represented by my law firm through Aki, which is his partner, then I would have to recuse myself. You know, attorney-client privilege and things like that. Just having access to inside information that they shouldn't have, right? I think Rosie made a choice. If we go this route, I have to step back. And if I step back, I'm not going to get all this notoriety. I'm not going to get all this free publicity. You know, they basically were running a promo. They weren't defending Richard Allen. I mean, they didn't talk about his alibi. They didn't talk about anything. They didn't bring up Keegan Klein, who confessed. You want to talk about a nexus? There it is, right there. What's up, bad actors? Karen Hick, welcome in. Mustang, good to see you. I don't think he's getting a new trial. There's part of me that wishes that he did. You know, I feel like the reason I think he's guilty is because his defense team was horrific. You know, I think they may have dropped the ball. They didn't defend him at all. What did they do for him? They didn't do anything. They did a lot of shit for themselves. What's up, Julia? How you doing? How was your weekend? So it looks like Ricci Davis didn't have any inside information at all. We already knew about the box cutter by October. We already knew that Richard Allen had mentioned that he was sorry for what he did to Abby. I mean, which is all very interesting. And Ricci could be right. I mean, it goes right along with my theory. But he could be right and lying at the same time. He could be right without even knowing it. Right? He's just putting the pieces together. It's a likely story. Davey says it was so nutty people actually believing this Ricci guy because of a corrupt defense lawyer who just wants to be in the spotlight. Absolutely. Well, if you're going to feed the trolls, they're going to eat, right? They're like pigs at the trough. A bunch of messy eaters. And they'll slop it up. And one thing I've noticed about these folks who support Richard Allen is the way they process information. It's kind of like the way you would go through your garden and pick like the good vegetables versus the bad ones. Right? This helps my theory. This doesn't. Throw that out. We'll put this in the basket. Not only that, it's kind of like they allow it to be warped in their own mind. They stretch it. I got to stretch some of these facts just a little bit to make them fit. I'll do that. Hey, what's up, Alex? How you doing? How was your weekend? Thank you for the super sticker. I mean, think about it. You're in prison. You're doing hard time. You're stuck. You're surrounded by a bunch of sick freaks like Kagan Klein. And you ain't got nothing else to do. You're going to learn how to exploit the system. And he wouldn't be the first inmate to try to get time taken off. I mean, there's prisoners who are doing that every day. We've covered, dozens of cases where we've had some articles that were written by inmates who swear up and down, like, I know it seems like I'm just trying to get time cut off, but I really wish they would listen. And then they even start reaching out to the victims' families and start reopening wounds and trying to get them to help them, push that narrative, just like Ricci's doing. It's all manipulation, just like Keegan Kline, remember? He used his own mother to gain access to girls that he went to school with. He's like, yeah, there's a couple girls that, they want to write to me and I'm going to, they want to be pen pals. And he told that to his mother. Like, hey, there's some women that I'm going to talk to that I went to school with. It's harmless. She said, okay. And she went and she contacted them and said, hey, this is what's going on with my son, Keegan. He said you guys were friends in high school and he would like for you guys to reach out to him. Here's his number. Here's his mailing address. Well, immediately, once Keegan Kline made contact with these people, he began turning the conversation sexual, trying to exploit them, trying to get what he wants. What does he want? He wants sexual gratification. He's a sexual deviant is what he is. What is Ricci? He's somebody that wants to break his routine. Imagine doing the same thing every day for years on top of years. Getting a 2-hour interview with Nick McClellan would be heaven. Not to mention getting that 15 minutes of fame. But most importantly, he's really trying to get time knocked off. But all of it is a benefit. Brown-eyed girl, how you doing? Just dropping in to say hello. I am with the grandkids today. I will catch the replay. Hey, have fun. Have fun. Keep a close eye on those little kids. Miranda says, I'm truly sick of people bashing the families of Abby and Libby and spreading terrible lies about the girls. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I have no clue what that's all about. I mean, it's evil, for sure. So, I mean, it makes sense, right? Hopefully you guys are seeing the pattern. Supporting Richard Allen, who is a convicted killer. And they don't have anything solid to even, back that up, that he's innocent. What makes him innocent? Because they didn't convince you? You haven't seen all of the facts. You're some weirdo that goes down rabbit holes and you're easily convinced and you stretch the facts to make it fit. And then you're going to use that as a basis for attacking people like Kelsey German? Fucking weird. You guys are weird. You guys are weird, and all you're doing is projecting how dangerous you really are as people. What's up, Patty? If you could attack somebody whose sister died when she was 16 years old, there's no telling what you're capable of, in my opinion. Kelsey acts very strange during interviews. She's a murderer. I mean, there's part of me that wishes that they knew what she was feeling, but that would be evil. I don't want them to know what she's going through. I don't want anybody to go through that. I just want them to realize that they should just leave them alone. Because it's going to take a horrible disaster in their own lives to really figure that out, and they have to go do an interview about a dead sibling. Let's see how you do in that interview. Let's see how you act. Let's see how online social media trolls treat you. Let's see if you do everything right. God forbid, somebody builds a baseball field in honor of your loved one. God, that's evil. What a Ponzi scheme. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? But it's all about the cult, guys. It truly is a cult. I mean, think about it. We went through exactly what makes a cult. And they check every single box. And I wouldn't care so much about what they do or what they say if they didn't attack the family. It's almost like they want to trigger people like me. Like, here, let me show the crime scene photos. That'll really get to them. And then in the description, I'm going to say justice for Abby and Libby while I show their dead bodies all over the internet. You're evil. That's all you are. Well, we want real justice. Putting Richard Allen in prison, he's an innocent man, isn't justice. So I'm going to go ahead and put crime scene photos all over the internet of the victims. That's going to help Richard Allen. No, you love Richard Allen because you love your daddy, the devil. Your daddy is Satan. All you're doing is appeasing your papa. And that's all you're worth, in my eyes. Yep, she was 16 years old. And I mean, it's true. There are some people who kill their family members and they get in front of the camera and they try to control the narrative. It is possible. But the thing is, most times those people get caught. It's very obvious what they're doing. And there's evidence to back that up. Like, you have people saying that they don't even believe that the photograph of Abby is even real. They don't believe that the video of the bridge guy is even real. There's some people that don't even believe that Richard Allen was even at the trails that day. So I wouldn't care about these weirdos if they didn't attack the family. It does trigger me a little bit. It angers me. Because I just don't know how you get to that point. Like, how do you get there? Like, these two beautiful girls were murdered. Their family is doing the best that they can. They're learning every day through trial and error of what they should, what they shouldn't do, the dangers of social media, and how aggressive these online mobs can be when they get a weird idea in their head. And it's all egotistical nonsense. Personality disorders, egotistical bullshit is what it's all about. And then they all click together. They're joined by that. Yeah. Not only are they cherry picking, once they find what they want, they stretch it. So we know that Kelsey, she took like multiple lie detector tests. She must be like a master criminal. She passed those. Oh, but wait, Abby had one of Kelsey's hair in her hand. That's solid proof right there. Solid proof of what? That she spent the night at her home, was wearing her clothing, was sitting in the back of her car just before she was murdered. They don't want to talk about any of the things that really matter, the factual part of the things. Imagine how Kelsey must have felt sitting down with a professional journalist who she knows is going to publicize their interview. It's going to be all over the internet. And she's supposed to be acting normal during that interview. Imagine how nervous she is. Oh my gosh, she laughed funny. She's a psychopath. Look, she's a psycho killer. Okay, well, who's she in cahoots with? Is she in cahoots with Brad Holder? Is she in cahoots with Ron Logan? Is she in cahoots with Anthony Schatz? Like, why do they hate Kelsey so much? So Kelsey comes forward to be a representative and to be strong for her family. They give her shit for it. They give her hell. And then they give Derek German hell for not coming forward. But in all reality, he seems to be the smart one. God forbid somebody get up there and be a spokesperson for the people that they love, admired, and adored, and who they miss. And it's not like they died in a car accident. It's not like they died from cancer and things like that. No, they were cut down by an animal. And you have the audacity. I just don't think they realize how much they're telling the world about who they are as people. And what you're telling me is that you are one wicked SOB. You are not to be trusted. And in real life, guarantee you are one dangerous piece of shit. If you can do that, there's no telling what you're capable of. In my mind. Karen says, if KK is guilty too, can he be tried for murder? Yes. He could face the death penalty. He could be put to death. How's it going, Beth? Blind Squirrel, what up? It's just me, says I agree. They were terrible in the defense of their client. After sentencing, the judge asked Allen if he was satisfied with his representation, and he was. Yeah, because for him, it doesn't matter. Like, he's a guilty man. You know, I'm just going through the motions, is what he's thinking. He's like, I'm going to prison. You know, I just don't want to be put to death, and I just want to get this over with. You guys are free to manipulate the system however you want to. But imagine the people out there. They have nothing solid that says Richard Allen is not involved, but yet they call him Ricky Bay. I mean, I'm flabbergasted. Absolutely, Miranda. Absolutely. Yeah, they don't have anything better to do, Darkside. I mean, it's amazing. Imagine you're in prison now, your name's in the news and it's all over the media. You know, that would be exciting. Not only that, it's kind of like retribution, right? All these prosecutors that screwed you over, you're happy to manipulate them. You hate them. You hate them with a passion. So if you can lie to them and make them look foolish and get what you want from them, you're happy to. You know? What's up, Jay? Absolutely. Beth, that's what I'm saying. KK using his mom like that is so vile. It is. It's disgusting. Think about how upset she was. And that's the thing. Like, parents and people who are close to these folks, they're so blinded by their relationship with these individuals. There's no way she would ever have thought in her wildest dreams that her son, after being convicted of sextortion and being a pedophile and all the sick crimes that he's guilty of, and even potentially being involved in the murders of Abby and Libby, that he would turn around and use her to continue those activities while in prison. Imagine how her heart broke. It went from being broke to shattered on that day. To be used that way. That's what these people do. They're master manipulators. I keep trying to explain to you guys, but you'll never really figure it out because they're so good. They are so good at manipulating people and really distorting reality in real time. They've been doing their entire life. And there's no real way to explain it. You have to experience it. You have to have a killer that at one time you loved lie right to your face and convince you and then to find out the truth before you really understand how that works and how dangerous these people are. And I think a lot of these weird people online, some of these YouTubers, I think they have that in common. You know, they may not be killers, but they're psychopaths for sure. You know, they suffer from very similar personality disorders. And a lot of them, I'm sure, when they turn off the YouTube, they're practicing the dark arts. You know, they're literally worshiping Satan. So if they can get a convicted killer off, man, that's like striking a blow to people who fear God. You know, it's almost like if the game is manipulation, that's a great victory. J Ray says, well, aren't there letters dating back further from Ricci to the prosecutor? No. Nope. We were fooled by Baldwin to believe that. It's just not true. Bad actor says, if I knew somebody in real life that was pro Ricky Allen, family accuser, I couldn't associate with them. Me neither. Because that's telling us a lot about who they are as people. Because the truth is, if you have any evidence that family was involved, you don't go on social media, you tip it in, and you go to law enforcement. Then if it is something solid, law enforcement will make the proper moves. And if they make an arrest, we can join together in attacking these individuals for what they did and the role that they played. But to take online conspiracies and weird things and just pile them up and make videos attacking these people who lost their children and their sisters, you know, and they're doing it for the clicks, you know, they're like, be a piece of shit or get clicks. Well, I really need the clicks. All right, send. Let's go ahead and let's post this video because I'm a piece of shit. I'm probably suffering from psychopathy and I really love the attention. And the people that are very similar to them out there in the world, they're drawn to that. You know, similar minds are attracted to each other. That's why you have people like Rex Heuermann reaching out to the happy face killer because they're drawn to each other. They have something in common. They're both living a life of darkness. They have that in common. They're relating to each other. They're not looking at Richard Allen and saying, "Oh, he's a normal guy who's being railroaded." No. Inside their heart, they know he's guilty. But they hate us. They hate us for the love that we show the victims. They hate us for the way that we try to prop up the victims. If you listen very closely to these people that support Richard Allen, oftentimes they say very hurtful things and disgusting things about Abby and Libby, like that they're nothing special. Why are they being praised? They're just two girls that were chosen to be murdered. You know, why are we propping them up? Why are we worshiping two girls that were murdered? We're not. We're trying to honor them. If we're going to discuss their case constantly, try to understand what happened, we need to be honoring them at the same time. We're not worshiping them. And if law enforcement wants to say that Libby was a hero for catching her killer on camera, if that's true or not, so what? Why am I going to pick that battle? Why, out of everything that I could pick throughout the case, so I'm going to pick that to take it away? You want to know why? Because you're projecting who you are. You're showing the whole world how wicked you are. That out of everything that's going on with this case, that's what you've chosen to do. You've chosen to take that away from Libby. Oh, well, the truth is the only thing that matters. Well, you can't prove that that's not what happened. That's the thing. When it's an unknown, you can go two ways, right? I can go the dark path or I can go the righteous path. You constantly choose the dark path because that's who you are. And all of you who are watching this that don't like me, that hate me, you know I'm fucking right. And you hate that I point you out. You hate that I have that discernment, because that is your greatest enemy, is that God-given discernment that gives us that intuition, that gives us that gut instinct. You try to hide your darkness, but it's people like me that can see right through you. I can hear you slithering through that grass a mile away. What's up, Red Sauce? Well, that's the problem. You usually won't have a cult unless you have cult leaders who have bad intentions, right? Those are the people who are out there manipulating. You're not going to have a whole lot of people that are manipulating folks for the benefit of good. You know, it's kind of a wicked trait. You know, it's like a God complex. They're not going to give that up. And most people who worship the devil anyway, they believe that they themselves can become like God or a God. You know, they believe in as above, so below, that no matter what, we couldn't really actually live in 100% peace. They truly believe that without the devil and without evil, there would be no good. But that's just simply not the truth. There's no such thing as above, so below. It's just wickedness trying to keep us from fulfilling God's dream for us, which is total peace. We could have it, but it's hard when you have free will and you have a presence and an evil that is exploiting that and trying to take that away, trying to take that gift away, knowing that God has given that free will, not only to us, but to the devil as well. But why does he let so many people die? Why would he flood an entire town and kill the babies? Everything that happens on this planet is because of our choices that we make. And unfortunately, we have to deal with the evil influence constantly, that whispering demon, you know? Mustang says, I don't even think that some of the Britch troll supports actually believe he's innocent. It's all about clicks, views, and super chats. Absolutely. They don't believe he's innocent. It kind of reminds me of the West Memphis 3. Like, we don't know if those guys are guilty or innocent, but we definitely had a lot of dark-hearted people pushing to get them freed, right? And it worked. And that's what they're doing here for Richard Allen. They're doing the devil's work. They just, everybody wants their father to be proud of them. And their father is the devil. And that's all they want. They want him to be proud of them, whether they know it or not. Yeah, Davey, that's a hard one. That's pure wickedness right there, what he did to that family. His own family. Well, they're definitely dumb. And I'm not here to act like I'm some kind of smart person or anything like that, because you guys know that's not my thing. You judge people by their work. And right now, I see that they're doing the devil's work. Are you going to buy I am Richard? Wait, they have shirts that say I am Richard Allen? Some of them are like Richard Allen. They're probably potential killers. You know, maybe they are Richard Allen. There's a reason that they're in his corner. They got the same daddy. They're brothers. They're brothers and sisters. They're siblings. You get there by being a soulless and moralist person without common sense or intelligence, to be honest. Well, sometimes you sacrifice your common sense and intelligence for the good of the cult. There's some people that are so lonely in this world. People like Brian Koberger. They're just so lonely. That's where it all begins. And I think loneliness begins with God, godlessness. When you have God, we all have God in our heart. But when you find that light, that beacon out there that you can see in the darkness, we're not alone. But when people don't have that, they feel abandoned. They try to justify everything with their ego. And a lot of them become atheist or agnostic. They need to be proven that God is tangible, as if their mind could even grasp, what God truly is, right? But they need that tangible proof. As if being on a rock floating through space, rotating around a star, isn't enough proof for them. I don't know whatever will be, guys. Just the vastness of the universe, how creation can be created out of nothing. Like, what more proof do you need? What's up, Jake? You taking care of Camp Crystal Lake over there? I heard it was kind of getting messy. Bad actor says they seem to hate Kelsey as well as Abby and Libby. Absolutely, they do. They do hate the sense of purity. It's kind of like that scene from The Devil's Advocate where Satan walks into the church and he puts his finger in the holy water and it starts to kind of sizzle, kind of starts to bubble and boil. That's why they put out those crime scene photos. That's why they attack the family. Like, you got some videos out there called the Wacky Patties. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Some folks may not see it, but I see who you are. I know what you are. Miranda Lee says there's no way the Jabba the Hutt KK was at the end of that bridge or at the crime scene. I don't agree with that. I think he very well could be. You think because he's some heavyset guy, he couldn't cross that bridge or run up and down those hills? It's just not true. Did you see what they're doing to Kathy Shank now? Yeah, it's fucking weird. What's up, Charles? Replace the H with another K in her last name, and that's what they're calling this poor woman now. It tells me more about them than anything. Same o, Charles, same o. It is a good one. Well, he's already in he's already in segregation, I think. Davey says Baldwin got in good with Richard Allen and made them seem like friends and that he cared. So Richard Allen naturally thought he got good representation. Ineffective counsel was Richard Allen's best chance at a retrial, and he waited it. Well, not only did he wait it, they went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court deemed the opposite, right? That they were effective. But I'm sure some will say, "Oh, well, that was part of the conspiracy. That was a conspiracy to take the appeal away from Richard Allen. Had nothing to do with the crime scene photos being leaked." Remember, it wasn't just the crime scene photos that were leaked; it was the entire discovery. And it's not like it was released or sent to some random person by mistake who kept it safe. They sent it to a crackhead YouTuber who wouldn't shut up about Kagan Klein, wouldn't shut up about Delphi, and they knew that he was going to post it. So that's unethical. Is that the representation that Richard Allen was hoping for? Have you had that sleuth, the killer that you cared about? Maybe in the movie Mr. Brooks, because it was just written so well. I really didn't want him to get caught for whatever reason, but it's just a movie, it's not real life. I mean, honestly, bad actors, I do love everybody. It's not my job to judge. When it comes to the way I feel about them, that's just from just discernment. Does certain people deserve to be put to death? Sure. Should they go to prison? Yeah. But I mean, I do love everybody. Maybe J Ray. Oh, there's an interesting tidbit about KK's mom. She grew up in Mexico, Indiana. And she's just a couple years older than Richard Allen. Bet you guys didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that one of Kagan Klein's online personas, Emily Ann, is actually the name of his 3-year-old niece at the time. He said he made videos of her. And her father lived in Mexico at the time of the crimes, or shortly before. He lived right up the street from Richard Allen. Or excuse me, when Richard Allen lived in Mexico, he lived in Mexico, Indiana, at the same time. A woman who donated her personal time for free, then turned down significant reward money. What they are calling her right now is vile and disgusting. Well, they're saying that she's turning it down because she's guilty. Like, she's not going to go along with this whole lie, right? This quote unquote lie. And I don't know if she's part of some scheme. I'm not here to say she's not. I'm not here to say she is. There's no evidence of that. So why would you go as far as attacking her when she could be doing something very great? I'm not going to say either way because I don't know. I don't know. Do I have my suspicions? Yeah. But am I going to go attacking her and calling her names? No, I'm just a suspicious person. When you have a choice and you're standing in front of the unknown, you can go two routes, right? You can go the dark path or you can go the righteous path. That choice is up to you. Absolutely, dark side. Witchcraft. Luciferianism. Luciferians. Yep, they are. Daily. Like you're Richard Allen. Absolutely, Poos. Good to see you. So Baldwin originally released the information about Ricci saying, that back in 2017, which it would have had to have been for him to communicate with Ron Logan, right? It would have had to have been way back in 2017 because that's when he was locked up in Newcastle. But apparently, it wasn't Ron Logan who told him about the carpet knife, right? I think that was Kagan Klein. Or at least when he told the prosecutor what he heard in prison or what they confessed to, it wasn't until October. So he's telling Baldwin, hey, or Nick, I heard this back in 2017, but I'm only writing you now to tell you about it. The dates of the letter are right on the screen. That is the letter right there. That's when he sent the letters. Mary C., no, absolutely not. You're not under oath. Yeah, red sauce. Because they have no moral compass whatsoever. Yeah, it's easy for them. Mustang says evil people are good at hiding in plain sight, but eventually they can't hide. Well, people ask all the time, well, how did that killer go home and go right to sleep? And, his family had no clue of what happened. Because they treat people like trash. And it's not that they treat them like trash. They truly believe that they are trash. When they kill people and they dump bodies, in their mind, they're dumping trash. They're resolving something. They were used for some kind of an achievement, whether it was sexual, whether they were regaining power, whether they were getting somebody out of the way so that they can do something that they've been wanting to do. They will kill people and they will throw them away like trash because to them, that's what it is. Yep. Dark says, yeah, if you have any respect at all for the girl's family, then it would never cross your mind to accuse the family. I've never heard nothing even remotely possible for them to be involved. Yeah, I mean, you have to be ready to follow the facts, right? If some kind of groundbreaking information came out and there's this absolute proof that some family member, friend, or relative, neighbor, whatever was involved, hey, I'm not creating this reality. I'm just reporting on the factual information. But to try to put something that doesn't exist, to try to create that narrative, because in one of your weird Discord groups, you guys have convinced yourselves of it, and you've allowed to stack your pancakes up to the sky with no butter and no syrup. And when I say butter and syrup, that's factual information. That's the verifiable information. That's the scientific method. It's not conspiracy theories and strange occurrences and strange going ons and things that make you go, right? It's none of that stuff. That's what the pancakes are themselves. And when you stack them so high, it just looks like a feast. People want to bite on it. They want to sit down at the table. How can all of these be coincidences? Well, a lot of them aren't based on factual information anyway. Most of the pancakes the ingredients are lies, fabrications, misrepresentations. For instance, taking stuff from the Franks memo and using that to build your narrative or your theories. You're not building anything on a solid foundation. You're basically building it on the sand. And when it gets heavy enough, it'll just begin to sink. And whenever the tide comes up, it's all washed away. But even with these folks, you think the tide would come up when something like this happens. but they just changed course. They literally moved from Odinism to Ron Logan. They'll go back to the Odinism. They don't care that Brad Holder has an alibi. They don't care about any of that. She did, Charles. She absolutely did. Royal We, they absolutely did on a live stream. I can go get it for you. It was R&M that said it. She said, it's so weird to see these people worshiping Abby and Libby. They're nothing special. They're just two people that were targeted. You don't have to believe me. I could care less what you say. But it is a fact. And that's your problem right there. You're in denial about it. Very disturbing that so many want to insert themselves into this when it's over. Aside from an appeal, which only the appellate attorneys should be handling, not shady Oztooth or slimy YouTube creators. Well, they're trying to preserve the grounds for an appeal, which is very normal. It's very normal. I'm just trying to combat the information that's being provided. Gwyneth Garnett says, I'm a witch. We aren't evil. Well, I judge a person by their works. I've heard people slam Abby and Libby. Sleuth is right, and it is disgusting. Yes, I'm not telling any lies about that, guys. It's happened multiple times where they've accused people of worshiping Abby and Libby, that, you know, they're nothing special. They were just two girls that died. Darkseid says the good Lord's watching them. That's for sure. Absolutely. Gwen, is that right? Gwen Garnett says God is a myth. Yep. Sounds like you got it all figured out, Gwenon. Good luck with that. Absolutely. Well, it's the knowing of good and evil, right? Is being human. It's the potential for both. And it's the free will that allows us to choose that. It's freedom. And then you have that evil that's in the world with us, which is actually the king of this world, that wants to exploit that. There's a jealousy of mankind right now from Satan. It's a jealousy. Right? We can be good and bad and still be forgiven. But as an angel, you have to be perfection. Miranda says the royal we, I've heard worse than that on certain YouTube channels. Yeah, it gets really bad. Exactly, Mary. Yeah, that's true, Mustang. The Alfred plea. Scott Peterson is your perfect example of a psychopath. He met somebody new. Him and Chris Watts, I think, are the same. They're identical. I think they're referred to as family annihilators, right? for psychopaths who are capable of killing, because there's psychopaths in the world who never think about killing. They might do a lot of shady shit that they're not even aware of, but not all of them are killers. But the majority of them are manipulators. But when it comes to people like Scott Peterson, they can shed an entire family for a new one. Like, I no longer want to be with this woman. I don't want to have a family with her. So instead of just having a divorce, man, that's too difficult. It's going to be a long, drawn out process. Everybody's going to look at me like a creep. I'd just rather kill her. I could do it and get away with it. For them, murder is always an option. Yep, that's right, Charles. What will you choose? Will you allow your ego to convince you? Will you allow Satan to convince you of committing an evil act? Perpetrating evil against your fellow man, your brothers and your sisters? Hey, what's up, Jinx? Says the royal we, I'll gladly tell you that was Angela and Courtney who said that. Other awful things about Abby and Libby and their families. The domain channel showed that. Yeah, go check it out. I'm not making it up. That's what they said. Yep, we're free to choose. Yeah, you should, Royal We. You don't have to take my word for it. I can respect that. Hey, what's up? Anything I like? What's going on with you? Riot, stop. We are all Richard Allen. Yeah, maybe you. You're Richard Allen, that's for sure. Not me. Speak for yourself. So it must not have happened then, right, Royal We? Did you even go check? Did you go look? Did you investigate? I didn't know that you were omnipotent, omnipresent. The doo-doo monster. That's a good one. I'm going to use that. Psychologists that work in prison, they'll tell you it's only the violent offenders who will eat their feces. But it's quite common for inmates who are in solitary confinement to wipe feces on the wall and to kind of hit their heads against the wall because they know the game. They got to play the game. If you want to get pulled out of that cell, that's probably torturous, right? I'm not a big fan of solitary confinement. I believe there needs to be changes. I believe we need a third option as far as facilities where we need to keep these people, like Richard Allen, if he's going through mental health issues. Absolutely. There's no reason to be inhumane. But one thing that we've learned covering these cases, it's only the violent offenders who eat the shit. And we know the doo-doo monster. He loved his fudgesicles. No more fudgicles. The royal we well, you chose to spoke at that moment tells me a lot about what you got going on, right? You came to the defense of these people who love Richard Allen. So I mean, you're projecting too. You're not going to slip by in this on this channel. Everything we do, remember, if you've seen the movie Gladiator, echoes in eternity. Right now, you just triggered the butterfly effect. I can see you. Take the wax out of your ears. I always say peep game, Jinx. You want to learn something? Peep game. That's what we used to say when I was a kid. Me neither, Karen. And what about the song, Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys? The deaf and the blind, right? Ah, that's so true, Mustang. The deaf and the blind. Rain Dancer, what up? How you doing, Rain? I think it is a bit different. People accepted some kind of monster in all day life, but Richard Allen did not stand out. He had a normal life, but so had the BTK or Bundy. Bundy, absolutely, he's boring. Rain Dancer, he's just too boring, right? The CVS guy went out for a hike and committed a murder. That's boring. I'm going to tell you guys a different story. I'm going to tell you my version of events. This exciting tale, right? Exciting tale of Odinism and evil sisters and Freemasons, for whatever reason, decided to kill two young girls and risk it all. But I'm not going to give you any real evidence. But I'm definitely going to appease a certain kind of people. You know, marketing campaigns are targeting specific demographics. Rain Dancer, have you ever actually done? Just wondering. Hey, Ziggy. Well, we just did. We told you what happened. We told you who did it. Now you can go check and verify it for yourself if you don't believe us. That's how it works. Pudding pops. Well said, Jinx. Took the words right out of my mouth. Susie, what's up? Just noticed a notification and jumped on. Well, you're late. Good thing we saved you a plate. And it's not the Richard Allen menu, so don't be concerned. That shit's crazy. Darkseid says, in my opinion, it really doesn't matter. Should have been on Baldwin. His responsibility shouldn't have ever ended. Really doesn't matter. Should have been on Baldwin. I think you lost me on that one, Darkseid. Hybristophilia is rampant. And it says more about people's shortcomings than anything else, right? It's just pure projection. Mary C said, I didn't want to see Kevin Costner get caught in the movie A Perfect World. That was a good movie. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that movie. That's a good one. I like when he calls a vehicle a time machine, because it kind of makes sense, right? It's like the car was the first time machine because you're going through time, right? If you're comparing it to like, I don't know, riding a horse or walking, it kind of is a time machine. Yeah, she's disgusting, Charles. She's the one that went around talking about the bullet evidence before it was released to the public. Some people just can't hold their tongue. Look at me, look at me. They're both bad. I mean, I would say they're equally as bad. Pooh says, when you're an incompetent defense team, then you have to cheat, lie, and leak. So sad. I mean, they rested their case very early on. Why didn't they call Ricci up? Why didn't they call Keegan Klein? They were not expecting Judge Gull to approve those witnesses, but she did. It's fine to say this is an echo chamber and any opposing bills will be ridiculed, but don't pretend otherwise. Well, listen, you decided to join the chat when we were talking about somebody bad mouthing Abby and Libby, and you try to act like that was some kind of a lie. And we just called you out on it. There's people that come in here and support Richard Allen all the time, and they don't act the way that you're acting. Nobody's kicking you out of here. Nobody's silencing you. It's you have to remember it's what you do. I don't even think I've ever seen you in my chat. Oh, I think I may have seen you a couple times. You joined the chat in defense of these people who are bad mouthing Abby and Libby, and you defended them. So now people are acting according to that. So don't try to, you're not going to manipulate anybody here. You're definitely not going to manipulate me. You're welcome to say what you want. You're being respectful, and I appreciate that. But unfortunately, careful what you say, because you will be called out. You're not in some chat room where you can just fucking blab about victims of violent crime as if they're nothing. You're not going to get away with it here. It has nothing to do with being an echo chamber. Because if it was an echo chamber, I would just block you, right? I wouldn't allow what you're saying to, bounce around the walls of this echo chamber. That's not how echo chambers work. Well, if we don't agree with her, obviously we are growing crazy, right? If nobody agrees with me, then you're in an echo chamber. Yeah, he's definitely getting it. But we started this live stream asking the question, what are the odds that two of the three killers of Abby and Libby confess to Reese Davis? What are the odds of that? Or does he just is he the prisoner whisperer? Does he just have a way with these creeps or what? Is it his niche? Come now, son. confess your sins. Kid Clown's like, well, when Ron Logan's done, I want to come in there and get some things off my chest too, Ricci. Father Davis. Yes, son, go have a honey bun and come back in 10 minutes. I need to hear more about this box cutter. Apparently, prisoners are just lining up at the prison confessional to sit down and talk with Father Davis. Yeah, and I mean, even if she didn't, she was brave enough to come forward. She knew the power of social media. She just didn't know that there were dark corners that could chew you up and spit you out if you're not careful. I mean, there's literally people, if you don't agree with them, they will stalk you. They will stalk you, they'll hack you, they'll call your wife's job, they'll try to get her fired. They'll call, and when you pick up, they'll play sounds of people being murdered on your phone. I mean, I know what I'm dealing with. I know exactly what I'm dealing with. That's why they don't like me. Because it really is sleuth intuition. Yeah, that's true. Well, you got to remember who was giving her that strength. It's not like you lost that strength. It's almost as if you gained a strength. You know, for instance, when I was sitting at my grandmother's memorial, I could feel her presence there. And when my grandfather died, I feel like I inherited some kind of a sense, because I mean, there was like a guardian angel that had gotten me out of so many sticky situations, and I felt like I had a hand on my shoulder. So I don't think she lost anything with the death of her sister. I think she gained a guardian angel, somebody who was helping her to achieve those goals when she was feeling weak. The Royal E sugar, come on down a few notches. Just go to the channel called The Domain. There's not too many videos. You can see the answers you seek. It's not rocket science, puddin' pop. Dan, Dan is never sarcastic. That's not his thing. Dan being passive aggressive, I'd be shocked. Well, I mean, spoon feeding you with that information. If you're appalled, if you think that if what I'm saying is hard to believe about what they said about Abby and Libby and they're covering the Delphi case, if you find what I'm saying hard to believe, and if it was true, you would be appalled. Jinx is telling you how to go verify the information. It's chock full of receipts. It sounds like receipts are what you seek. Seek no further. Very soon, Rain Dancer. Very soon. Very soon. Hey, Jill, how you doing? Charles says most killers just see others as objects they possess and control. Then it's thrown away. Absolutely. They're very self-centered. Some people will even eat their victims so that they won't leave them. Like I think Brian Laundrie was a very mild Jeffrey Dahmer type, right? The reason that he killed Gabby and the reason that he kept her so close was because he didn't want to be left alone. Nobody ever worshipped him like Gabby did. He's not going to give that up. And he's definitely not going to give it away to anybody else. So that's the reason why he went along with that whole, let's create a blog, let's create a travel YouTube channel or Instagram channel, whatever it was. He didn't care. He didn't want her to succeed. He didn't want to go on a fucking road trip. But he didn't have a job. He didn't have any money. He's a parasite, like most killers are. Most psychopaths live a parasitic lifestyle. That was his way to keep her at arm's length and to watch her. Watch what she does, control who she is, keep her close. And that's why Jeffrey Dahmer would eat his victims. He wanted them to be so close that they were part of him. And that's why he kept their body parts. He wanted to keep them nearby, because otherwise they would just leave him. He thought he had to drug people to get them close. And not only that, he wanted total control with them sexually. He didn't want to do the whole, we'll do what I want to do and then we'll do what you want to do, or a little bit of both. He just wanted absolute control because he was a fucking freak. That's good. That's good. Bad actors. I love your videos though. All I know is if I ever get called out by you, I know that it's justified. I wish I had a spoon right here. I'd like put it up into the camera. Here comes the airplane. Hey, Cyber. What's up? How you doing? What's going on, Sparky? Just had a video of yours pop up in my notifications about Epstein. Is there a list out already? Haven't seen anything. Well, there's been some information out, but that YouTube video has a previous list from a flight log and affiliates, and it's basically put out during the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. But there was recently some information dropped. I think it was Friday, maybe. Sorry about that. I'm beginning to think that my favorite food is biscuits and gravy. I've become quite the snob. Asking for receipts means I'm in denial. No, but asking for receipts and then when somebody gives them to you and you're not interested tells me everything that I need to know. It will literally take you 5 minutes. You could go watch the video and be back within 5 minutes. But you're not going to do it because you've already made up your mind. Hey, that's a good idea. Hey, if anybody wants to send me t-shirt ideas or t-shirt designs or anything like that, send me an email at sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Maybe we'll vote on one We'll vote on them and see which ones we put out in the shop. That's a great idea. Maybe we'll even do like one with the pudding pop or a little snack pack. I'll take butter, but I'm a no syrup kind of girl. Hey, butter are the facts, right? Butter means factual information, and the syrup is just 100% verifiable. You know, that means that there's a consensus on that information on all sides. But when you just have pancakes that begin to stack and it's all based on just nonsense and not a whole lot of truth, you're missing the butter. Myron, no facts, just complaining. Complaining about what? See, it's always people don't realize how much information they're giving about themselves when they leave certain comments and when they leave them. I didn't mean to offend you, Myron, you know. Sorry if we're making fun of Richard Allen, or should I say Ricky Bay. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't mean to complain about it. Sorry. Please forgive me, will you? Yeah, they're interesting to say the least. Maybe all out of sporks on the top and then just the poop emoji below it. I think that might work. Yep. And then they find some way to justify it, right? Like somehow your answer is just, you're being rude or you're being disrespectful. You're not agreeing with me. I'm not going to go look for the receipts. It's not that important to me. If you could prove it, you would do it right now. Like, don't say some dumb shit and then try to flip it on people. Like, manipulation don't work around here. Like I said, I can hear the slithering through the grass a mile away. Deanna, what's up? Good afternoon to you. What's going on with the ambulance in your avatar there? Are you an EMT? If you are, big shout out to you. Big shout out to all the EMTs. They weren't crafted. They was messed up from the get-go. Ziggy says, always give a thumbs down when I troll those free Rich Allen family bashing. Big thumbs down. The only thing is when you put a thumbs up or a thumbs down, it still helps the channel. The best thing to do is just not ever click on it. Thank you, Sparky. So when this information was originally released by Baldwin, he made it seem as if there was information that only the killer would know being presented in these letters. We now know that that's not true. The information about the box cutter and the information about what Richard Allen said about Abby was released way before October 2024. So Ricci was hoping that he could hide under the umbrella of prison as if he's blocked from the public, right? Like, how would I know this information? I've been in prison the whole time. Yeah, but you have access to the information that's on the outside, not to mention the people that you're communicating. Imagine if you're talking to your sister, your brother, your father, your friend, whatever, and they're very interested in the Delphi case, and you say, hey, I was locked up with Ron Logan. Oh, well, I heard this, and that. Or, hey, I was locked up with Keegan Kline and Ron Logan. Oh, well, I thought we thought they were, and then you learn the facts. But not only that, you have access to news and shit. So now knowing that the information that Ricci was putting in these letters, it's not information that only the killer would know. It's information that anybody would know. Yeah, he would know. That's why he has all the receipts. So if you want receipts, I mean, we're telling you, the dude made a video with every receipt. I even think the murder sheet did a video on those guys and some of the awful things that they were saying. I don't know. The thing is, I'm not a bootlicker. I'm not pro prosecution. I'm not pro defense. I'm pro victim families, and pro truth. And I'll go wherever the facts take me. And if I do speculate or theorize, it's all going to be based on that factual information. Any theory or speculation that's presented on this channel is being pointed in a direction from the facts, not from the Frank's memo or nothing, none of the shit. Because how many times does Baldwin and Rosie and these guys have to put out information that is 100% false before you start realizing that there is no truth to anything that they say? Oh, that's a good shirt. There we go. I'm loving these ideas. How about you are Richard Allen? Not me. No, you're not, J. Ray. No, you're not. Thanks, Sparky. If you guys want to help out, Sparky's showing you a way you can do that. We're crowdfunded. What's up, Delulu? Don't want to be no scrub. Scrub is someone that won't get no love from me. Hanging out on the passenger side of your best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. Yeah, he doesn't need commissary money. He just needs a spork and a healthy diet. That's the point, Charles. Like, they just keep repeating the shit that was presented in the Frank's memo, and they're like, yeah, look. They're still talking about Brad Holder. The dude has a solid alibi. If you want anybody with any kind of a critical thinking skills, try to break the alibi. If it's possible, that's what I would be doing. Delulu says again, why is Michael Osberg stalking me on LinkedIn? Shouldn't he be working on this important appeal? Sounds like those are things that he might enjoy. Not even a mouse on a wheel. Never heard of 6-minute abs. It's 7. Deanna says, simple fact. He's the guy. Did not defend that at all. Not one time. If he is the bridge guy, he is guilty no matter the facts thereafter. Kidnapping equals murder when these girls ended up dead. Exactly. And if you want to know anything that happened after the kidnapping, You're going to have to wait until Richard Allen is ready to speak, or you need to start doing your digging. And if you really want answers, like I do, you're not going to waste your time on Odinism, right? Because none of the factual information leads you there. The only reason people are pointing at Odinism is because of sticks and a bloody handprint that was left on a tree. And Abby was dating a guy whose dad was very public about his Odinism. That's it. That doesn't seem like a whole lot, guys. Oh, wait, but did you see his Facebook posts? You know, the same day the girls were dead, he posted something from a gangster movie about hiding a body. Okay, well, how was he hiding a body if he has an alibi? What's up, big fish? Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Thank you, Sparky. Yeah, that was the part that really blew my mind, Charles. Like, why was Baldwin pushing letters from Ricci that implicated his client? So it's obvious he wasn't trying to get this to go anywhere. He was just trying to manipulate the public. It's almost like he's trying to it's almost like he's like Ricci. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to have the attention. He likes doing these interviews and being a leader. Enjoy. Remember, you don't decide to be a cult leader, you're elected. And then as soon as you go against the narrative or the even keel of their vibration, you can't deviate from that. One of the rules of a cult is once you deviate from that, from the cult consensus, you are shunned. And if you're a lonely person and you just made a bunch of new friends that you get to talk to all the time about how Richard Allen is innocent, you're not going to give that up. You're just going to sacrifice a little bit of who you are so that you're not a little lonely, pathetic piece of shit anymore. And I'm not saying you're a lonely piece of shit, but some people, that's their own perception of themselves. You know, low self-esteem. For instance, if you want to protect your children from online predators, build up their self-esteem. That's the number one thing that you can do for your kids. Stop breaking them down. Just make them feel confident. If they're confident, they won't feel the need to allow themselves to be fooled. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Oh, and here, look, the truth comes out. I told you guys, my intuition is always on point. Let's go to the royal we. You're just saying nonsense words. I'm sorry I tried to engage. You're just a bad guy. I was very nice and respectful. Clearly, your opposing views aren't welcome. Here, let me translate this for you. You're just saying nonsense words. You keep telling a lot of truth, and you're challenging my worldviews. When I engaged with you, I wasn't expecting you to come back at me and challenge me. That wasn't my intention. Clearly, opposing views aren't welcome. Are you guys seeing the passive aggressive and passive aggressive or that tells a lot about who you are as a person? We did a live stream on it about a week and a half ago. You should go check it out. Well, the ones who actually call you out on your lives. Oh, you called me out for what? You tried to call me out and then you got schooled by Jinx. I didn't even have to say anything. But thanks for letting me chat. Good example of passive aggressive behavior right there. But I'm glad I could translate it for you guys. Don't worry, I have a way with these types. Delulu, what about the people that Richard Allen were with the day of the murders? His mother never came forward. Makes you wonder why. Let me see if I have anything for Royal We here. Maybe we can send her on her way. Oh, here we go.
All right, youngster, out you go. Don't come back.
How dare you disagree with me? Yeah, remember, I didn't tell her to leave. When I hear people, even some law enforcement, say Richard Allen didn't have a criminal record, this isn't the profile of a double murderer. Not all killers fit in the same box. Yeah, that's just not how it works. These people, these crazy, diabolical, sinister folks that live amongst us, they've learned at a very young age how to hide in plain sight. They know that they're different. The moment they bring that skinned cat or that tortured animal in front of their friends and family members, thinking it's the coolest thing ever, and everybody's looking at them like, "What the fuck did you just do?" That's the moment that they realize that they are not the same as everybody else, that they are completely different. It's that moment that everything becomes internalized. And oftentimes you become a killer because of early childhood abuse. So your mind and your subconscious is trying to create a persona that's going to protect you from the evil that's in the world by making you evil, by making you worse than what you fear. And that's kind of how hybristophilia works, right? People are so afraid of being chopped up and murdered and being attacked and things like that. Hey, if I just fall in love with this psychotic monster of a person, nobody will hurt me. Can't beat them, join them. Sorry, Riot. You know who you can blame for that is Dan. He ruined them for me, and I'm going to ruin them for you. Hey, she didn't go anywhere. See, look, the real Royal We begins to show them who their true selves, right? Remember, even Satan would show himself as an angel of light, right? Even Satan read the Bible. You're just not going to get away with it over here. And I know that could be upsetting for you. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be logical. As long as you're respectful and you don't attack the family, you can leave the logical out of it. Thank you, Sparky. And Royal was definitely respectful. So she'll always have a place here until that changes. Hybristophilia. Rain Dancer, you asked, have you ever actually done, but the rest was inaudible. Oh, have you ever done an actual rain dance? We're all misinformed because Baldwin will put something out there in public and he has lies buried on, under a pile of other lies. So it's very tricky. So we assume some of it is truth, right? We assume that these other parts of information are based on truth, but the whole premise ends up being just a lie. Karen says, that's sad what those girls went through. Why would anybody support Richard Allen? I don't know. I mean, he's a convicted killer. I know innocent people are convicted all the time, and I know that's what they're trying to rally around. But the truth is, they're not even willing to listen to any real factual information. You know, they still quote the Franks memo. I can't even entertain anybody who's still taking that as factual information after it's been proven to be filled with lies. So now you're just being irresponsible, in my opinion. You're just preaching to the cult, right? Yeah, God forbid you use facts and logic. Yeah, they're around. If you don't like, if you don't like this group of people we got here, but if you support Richard Allen and you think he's innocent, I'm not going to kick you out of here. Everybody's welcome. There's only a few rules to this channel. No bashing the family of victims or shaming them or the victims of violent crime. You have to have the ability to agree to disagree. You cannot be disrespectful, and you cannot become a distraction. Pretty simple. Two soups. You want some cornbread? Welcome in, Jared. Oh, I thought you like get out there and actually do a dance. That's the Native American way. Father Davis. Father Davis, I'm here for confession. Yes, my son, step on in. Here, let's put that back up. You almost done in there, Ron? I really got to get my part off my chest. There's a line forming out here. Yes, my child, step on in. Tell Father Davis everything. Well, Father Davis, it was an unusually warm day for February. I had just gotten back from dumping all my shit at the dump, and I decided to walk around my property. With a box cutter in my pocket. Sleuth Intuition, you gotta be careful with what you say with this case. Just the facts. The husband is suing all and everyone. It's okay. Everything I do is backed by an LLC. Good luck with that. Have at it. Yep, absolutely. Thank you, bad actors. Keep them YouTubers straight. And if not, they'll pay the price. Let me zip on down to the bottom. Get rid of a couple of these weird trolls. Scrub report. Remember, guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It's right there. Just click it. Don't be shy. Oh, yeah, this is the remake. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be killers. Thanks, Jared. Bobby Boucher's mama told me Fax was the devil. Something wrong with his medulla oblongata. All right, guys, I think this is going to be our 5-minute warning. Got something to say? Say it now or forever hold your peace. If you guys have any t-shirt ideas, send them to sleuthintuition@gmail.com. If I get enough, we'll go ahead and vote on them. Honestly, I don't think they care, Charles. Or they came into it late. A lot of folks who are pushing this whole Richard Allen narrative are pushing it. They weren't even familiar with the case until his arrest. Thank you, Mustang. There you go. Sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Oh, yeah. Or until trial. Well, the thing is, it was the Franks memo that did it for a lot. You know, we actually did our own investigation into that, and I'm sure it was like a thorn in their foot. Thank you, Ms. Doglover. Big shout out to Alex and Ms. Doglover. We are all crazy. We're crazy as hell. Bunch of wild boys. All right. Big shout out to all my moderators. Keep the chat chill. Special thanks to Alex and Miss Doglover for sponsoring today's live stream. All of you who donate to the Cash App, the Venmo, and the Zelle, thank you so much. And those of you who hit the like button and share these videos, special thanks to you as well. And all of you who just joined the chat, even you lurkers, and all of my subscribers, you guys, thank you so much. You guys better back away from J-Ray. Bunch of wild boys and J-Ray. You too, Charles. You take care of yourself. Growing crazy. Have a great day. Jinx, great job in the chat. Keeping them honest. Big Biscuits and gravy. How are your biscuits and gravy anyway? Oh, you got the stick out. You're poking the bear. Damn. That's what I'm talking about. That's how my grandma used to do it. And when you say from scratch, I mean, technically, yeah, the butter too, right? Churn some butter. Thank you, Jari. Hope you're having a good day, Jari. If you guys are part of the replay crew, you know exactly what to do. Drop a comment, we'll get back to you. Don't be shy. Good night, Miss Dog Lover. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Jinx. Damn. Well, when I come through Delphi, you're going to have to hook it up. She milked the cow too. Damn, I didn't know she was Amish. Or Mennonite, maybe. Take care, Rain Dancer. All right, we shook on it. But don't get mad when I give you my honest opinion. Because like I said, I'm a snob. Yeah, I'm a brown-skinned redneck, just like my dad. He's a cowboy boot-wearing, cowboy hat, ranch-walking, cow-tackling redneck. So it used to be anyway. All right, guys, this will be our 1-minute countdown. And I will see you guys a little bit later today. I'm planning on dropping a video, but I want to make sure that I have it all right. So you guys will have that to look out for, to look forward to. And then we'll have another live stream too. Me neither, Jinx. It's helpful. But the key word is constructive. You too, CJK. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Hopefully, I'll see you a little bit later. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.